Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. In the last couple of days, we have been seeing some major updates around Xinfin, and honestly, in regards to like Xinfin, and people really kind of wondering like what's going on now. I think that a lot of people are really kind of confused on the idea on like has things changed around XDC as a token. And honestly, to answer that question, like I would say no. I mean, in regards to what Xinfin is actually focused on, in regards to where XDC is positioned at, in regards to a settlement token on the Xinfin blockchain, I would say nearly any use case being built out on Xinfin will run over XDC. I've always said this since day one, like you need to look at the network effects within this market. The more that the network is utilized, the more the token itself that is powering that network will also increase in value. This is why I've said that even though, okay, if you have a trade finance use case coming to Xinfin, right, that is not going to be, for example, utilizing XDC's token in general, maybe this new token, Trada or Trada, it's still going to be utilizing XDC because XDC is the power source behind the network. Now, I know a lot of people really kind of confuse that and say like, all right, well, if XDC is only utilized for gas fees, for example, on the network, how will the value actually rise? Well, it just means that there needs to be a lot more transactional demand on the network, and we will most likely see that through something like trade finance, as there is a large amount of entities around the trade finance area that transact quite a bit on a day-to-day basis. But let's also, hear from Billy from Xinfin, who is the head of ecosystem development for Xinfin. And it says, did you know that XDC Network is an EVM-compatible smart contracts platform? Our goal, in this regard is to support projects to launch on our network by creating smart contracts and building tech on top of the network. This is basically exactly what we have been doing with Trade Tech, and now they are launching a token on our network to bring a real-world asset-backed coin to the network. At the core, we are accomplishing everything we have set out to do. But we do see, but somehow people are upset about this. What? We do see, so let's take a closer look. Last September, Trade Tech created the first of its kind, trade finance transaction tokenizing a group of invoices from different SMEs on the XDC network. We did this by creating an NFT to tokenize the assets. We do see down here, since that time, TradeTech has worked to develop a token backed by real-world assets in a regulated jurisdiction. We've discussed this, a number of times on webinars since that time. It's an ingredient to scaling up the transactions, which we started back in September. We are going, and we do see, and they have, done this successfully, but for some reason people think this is going to hurt XDC. We have and always will be transparent as we have been in this case. No one can time regulatory approval, and, nothing happens in a straight line. Please remember, XDC is used as a settlement, liquidity, gas, and many utilities in regards to, the blockchain. Tokens built on-chain, help build our ecosystem. Our goal is to build the ecosystem, which is, what we focus on day in and day out. It's called playing the long game. And of course, he says just happy Monday. And I do think that this is great. I think that this really kind of, clears up a few, things around this entire circumstance. But yeah, I mean, like when you look at what XDC is providing to the network itself, it's not only a settlement token, it's liquidity, it's gas fees, it's everything that you really kind of, thought of it in the first place. And now you're just seeing it confirmed by the head of ecosystem because everybody is so confused on this new token, and it is from TradeTech. It's going to be called TradeUp. And I do think that this is actually pretty significant when you look at what TradeTech is still focused on. Again, yes, we will still see network effects because, when we talk about that, massive revolution to the trade finance area, large entities out there in regards to the trade finance, market are going to want to utilize this as well because of the efficiencies around it. I just talked to you guys about the other day about digitization within the trade finance area and why, it really hasn't taken, mainstream attention yet. It's because it's far too expensive. But utilizing like something like the Xinfin network, it actually brings down the cost. You have scalability. It's a lot quicker. It's settled in seconds. Like that's exactly what these large entities want. Now, talking about this, we also do see Impul posting this, a real, nice deep dive into Impul's ISO 222 financial messaging XML raw data. And here is the, kind of the data behind the messaging format ISO 222. And it also, again, clears up confusion that, for example, XDC won't be utilized. here we have XDC in terms of the collateral amount. Like XDC will be collateralized within the network. This is why I've said like XDC will be utilized in almost every single situation. Now, also, we do see over here, trade tech on the XDC network cannot be underestimated. It's huge, and it will be a catalyst for many other companies to use XDC, 100%. Tokenization, collateral, liquidity, wow, the magic is just getting started. Great work, Xinfin USA team, and we are XDC community. And of course, that's quoting what Billy said in the first tweet. And shout out to Crypto KJ2 for this because, yeah, I mean, it's the truth. Like, these companies, like, this is going to be a domino effect. This is going to come out. These companies are going to see it, and they are going to want to utilize it. Remember, right? We also have, the DSL Bridge, right? And this is bridging R3 Corda to Xinfin. And if you guys, want confirmation on this, you guys have it from September 21st, DSL Bridge, turning Corda into a hybrid network. Now, of course, is this live yet? No. But I do think that this is going to be pretty large. The bridge enables Xinfin's XDC to move from the XDC network over to the public Corda network to be used as a settlement token inside the Corda ecosystem. And of course, this is through, DLTs as well. Like DLT adoption is going to be huge. I've always said that it will. And then DSL is, an adaptable technology solution for digital assets built on Corda and uniquely designed to be interoperable with other DLTs to allow for consolidation of technology over time. And the way that I look at this is we will basically see direct connections to all DLTs at some point in time. I've also, said this with Quant. So everything will basically need to be, directly connected. Now, of course, is XDC going to be the only token in regards to like trade finance that is going to take over? No. I mean, I'm sure that there will probably be other digital solutions. There, has been other digital solutions in regards to like cross-border payments, etc. So it makes no sense that there wouldn't be, other solutions in here. And I do think that that is their approach with interoperability within this. Now, also, we are still waiting for regulatory, policies and things like that to really kind of, have this go fully live and be able to have XDC or Xinfin utilized in regards to this. But I do think that this is great because when we really kind of look at R3 Corda and you look down the clients list, like for example, there is, for example, like Spunta. Now, this is actually a pretty large, entity. Again, a lot of these, major names are focused on trade finance or some sort of other area around trade finance. Like, for example, here we have, an interbank reconciliation application powering the Italian banking system. This is also built on Corda by SIA. Remember, SIA is directly connected to Quant. I'm not trying to say like, hey, the connection to Quant with, XDC through this is huge, but no. I'm just saying like there has been connections in the past that would probably entice the idea on like, all right, yeah, is Quant going to partner with Xinfin? Well, it already happened. But we also do see here, is live with over 100 Italian banks representing 91% of the nation's banks. In the first 6 months, Spunta Banca DLT has processed 204 million transactions with an automatic match rate of 97.6%, transforming the interbank reconciliation process. Now, of course, that's just one name of many. Like, when we really kind of look at Xinfin, or not Xinfin, R3 Corda, they have like over 400 plus institution connections, and they do, they are a very large entity. Also, Contour, right? So we do see Contour is a digital trade network of the world's leading trade banks, harnessing Corda Enterprise to bring transformational efficiencies to documentary trade. Following 14 public live pilots in 14 countries, Contour has proven to reduce end-to-end processing time for LCs by 90% or more, simplifying the process for all participants and enabling new business opportunities for banks, corporates, and trade ecosystem players. Now, also, when we really kind of look at Contour, they are a very large name. When we look at their backing, for example, so here's their industry backers. Look at all of the major, banks already tied to this. So we are backed by 9 leading trade banks to solve the long-standing inefficiencies in trade and trade finance. They include, and of course, there's like Citi, HSBC, there's SMBC, Standard Chartered, etc. And we do see, Future Ready, Scalable as well. And when we really kind of look at a large amount of these entities, like to me personally, we will most likely see, something like Xinfin or XDC be bridged to a lot of these solutions to allow, again, other entities, major institutions, banks, etc., to utilize the power behind Xinfin. And I actually do look forward to seeing this come to fruition at some point in time. It is speculation, if you will, but in my opinion, like when we really kind of look at the things that are leading the way for not only DLTs, but also like even in regards to like the trade finance area, like for an example, I've been saying like pay attention to ICC in terms of like digital standards around like trade finance, and this is from CryptoNair D. But we do see reforming laws and harmonizing legal frameworks stands to generate USD trillions in time and cost savings for international trade, and this is what we have been paying attention to, especially when you really kind of look at like the major names around this. And the connections to Xinfin through like ICC are staggering. I've mentioned it multiple times, but it definitely looks it's interesting when you look at not only the amount that we are basically going after in regards to like these entities. You see like all of the banks in regards to like the TFDI, for an example. Like everybody kind of confuses the idea that like, all right, well, since gas fees on Xinfin are basically extremely cheap, XDC is not going to really kind of move even with like use cases like trade finance. But that's where everyone is wrong. Like, when we really kind of look at XDC as a settlement token, a liquidity token, whatever the case may be, how you want to really kind of look at it, gas fees will add up as more and more network demand is there. And to me, like as you do see like all of the major names directly tied to like the trade finance area, and how large trade finance could essentially become, it truly does open your eyes to how large of a market Xinfin is actually going after, and also like the amount of gas fees that could be generated through use cases like this. Of course, yes, call it speculation if you will, but I just think that this is something that is pretty large in the sense on like where we will be in like a couple years, for an example. And of course, we do see down here, let's go, paperless trade, facilitation, harmonize these global standards, ICC. Let's get these countries adopting, a global standard for trade. And of course, this goes back to like, February 5th from Utility Theory. But this is creating a modern digital trade ecosystem. And we do see remove frictions from, paper, remove high transaction times, transaction fees, create supply chain item tracking, harmonize DCOC or DDoC laws. Globally, use smart contracts and DOT in global trade, close the TF gap with decentralized tokenizing or tokenized lending. And again, when we really kind of look at this, it's like the idea that you have to kind of trust the process and know what you hold. For me personally, I think that this is great. I don't look at this as a bad thing. I know that a lot of people think that like this changes everything, but it really doesn't. Especially if you understand network effects and you understand what is going to generate revenue on a network, and also allow for the token itself to increase in value. So I think that this is great. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. I'd love to hear from you guys. But with that being said, if you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. But with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.